Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Philip, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a two-player game where each player has one card and they race the cars on a track. So the first thing you need to do is get rid of this sprite, and you need to upload a sprite. You click the top one, that's the upload sprite, and then this window will appear, and I prepared this car from before this video, so that's why it appeared. And now that's a bit too big. Let's try 25. Okay, that should be good, yeah. And let's change the color of the car by going to the costumes, and then pick your color over here and click on the car, and that makes it red or whatever color you picked. So now let's code, and you go to the events, get the when green flag clicked block, then the forever, and then we need the card to go forward when a key is pressed, to turn this way when another key is pressed, to turn the other way when another key is pressed. So we get if key S should be good, since we're gonna be on the left side with this car. So S should be good for going forward. So S, when key S pressed, move 10 steps. And another if key, a good key here is Z, because we want it first to go to the left side. So Z, Z, Z. And when key Z, if key Z pressed, then turn this side 15 degrees, or let's see how 15 degrees is. So when I press Z, that's good, I guess. Maybe a bit less. Let's try 10 degrees, and then Z. That should be better. And then duplicate it. Change this to the other way, to the right side. Change it to 10 so it's the same. And then don't forget to change the key. For this one, since it's going to be turning to the right side, a good key will be X. So that is going to be X. I'm going to go ahead and test it now. So press the green flag and S to go forward. And that is not going forward. That is because each sprite has a direction, and every sprite's beginning direction is to the right. So we need to change the image so that it points to the right. So go to costumes and click this button right here, convert to vector, and make sure you're on this select, and then you click and get this car, and you get this and you rotate it, and you press shift so that it goes forward, so it's straight. Alright, and once you got it, go back to the code and let's run it, and S is actually forward now. So we did it. So now it's time to draw the background. So click on here, and then you go to backdrops where costumes used to be. And to be able to draw, you need to click convert to bitmap. And once you clicked it, you can have this fill. Pick a color you'd like. I'm going to go ahead with green because it's like grass. Click it, and the whole background is green. Now we have to draw a track on this grass. So let's go ahead and get the brush. And this is the size. So here you see 10. Don't forget to change the colors, because if I draw like this, it's the same color. You can't see. So change the color. I'm going to pick white. And you see 10 is pretty small. So let's change to 100, and that should be pretty big. So let's draw the track. It can be any shape, any size. Okay, and then test if the car will fit on it. So press the green flag and try making the car ride on it. It's pretty small, so I guess let's make it a bit bigger. Just outline to make it a bit bigger. So like that. Alright, so once you've got that how you wanted it, you can go back to the coding for the car. We need to do if touching this green right here, then it needs to say something that it touched the green, and it has to go, like, it has to stay there for a second and get out of the green. So we need to get an if statement, which is right here. You drag it, and if what, then something. If touching that green, right? So here is that block in the sensing. Touching color, and then you click on the color to pick your color, and then since maybe you don't know this exact color, you can click on this button down here, and you can go on your screen, and whatever the edge of the circle is, that's what color it's gonna pick, and it picked the perfect color. So if touching this green, then we have to like say something to be like, whoops, I touched green. So get the say hello for 2 seconds, and let's say whoops or something, right? So once you have that, now you have to change the 2 seconds. We don't need it for 2 seconds, because then if you touch green, you'll just stay there forever. Like, you can't turn. So we need it to be less than 2 seconds. So we need it a bit less than 1 second. So like 0.2 or 0.1 or 0.5. And then we can test it, and we see that if you touch screen, you stay there for a bit, and then you can turn away and go back on the track. Now we need to make a starting line for the start and the end of the track. So we go to the backdrops, and we click this button up here, backdrops, and this is the backdrops. So we need to click on the brush, and we don't need a size 100. Let's say we want it 10. That's pretty good. And we go to the fill and get whatever color you would like. I will get like a bluish, a dark blue, and just draw a line. Okay? So now we need to position the car right in front of the line, because if we position it back here, our condition will be if touching this blue line, then you won. So that wouldn't be good, because if you just go a bit forward, you would be touching it and you would have won already. So we need to position it like straight in front of it. So at the beginning, we need to go to X and Y. And the position is going to be something like that, but we have to change the direction of the car. So let's change the direction. And the direction is, let's see, pretty close. Let's get something more like there. -30. That should be good. Let's change it a bit more. Okay, that should be good. So now it's on the line from the start. So we need it somewhere around here. So the y has to change to 7 instead of 1. And now when we start it, it's in that position. The next step is to make sure that when the card touches the blue line, you finish the track. It says you finished and everything stops. So if touching color, and then we need to get that blue, so click on the color, like I said before, and click on this button, and find that blue. And if touching color blue, then you need to say I won. You need to say the red car won, because remember, we're going to be erasing 2 cars. So if the other one touches it, then it needs to say the mother car won. So the red car won for, let's say, 2 seconds, and then we need to stop all. Let's go ahead and test. So press the green flag, and S to go forward. And as you can see, maybe, if you'd like to cheat, you can just cross the roads right here. And it does take a bit of time because you touch the green, but it's way less time than going across the whole track, so people can just cheat like that. So that's why we need to add checkpoints around the track, so we can be like, for example, we can add variables or something to be like, you had to touch this and this and this checkpoint to finish. And so we have to make the checkpoints on the background now. So you go to the backgrounds, backdrops, and we need to make some checkpoints. So go to the fill and get like a color. Make sure it's not the same color as your starting point. So I'll get this light green and draw a line like right there or anywhere. And now I'll make another checkpoint. Let's make it like a blue, maybe a light blue, like that, a really light blue, and we'll put it around here. And another checkpoint, so we can put it around here. And let's go ahead, like a purple, I don't know, we'll put it like right there. Okay, now that you have all your checkpoints, let's go code. So we have to make variables for each checkpoint, because we're going to be using these variables later on to be like, if touching this color, then set the variable we're making to 1. So we need to go ahead and make the variable. So click make a variable, and let's name it checkpoint 1. And you see here there are 2 types of variables, for all sprites and for this sprite only. If we make it for all sprites, then this checkpoint can stay for all sprites, so it will be like 1 car goes, touches all the checkpoints, and then 1 car just only touches the last finish line, and then that car will win. So we need it for this sprite only, and press OK. And here you have the checkpoint. Make another checkpoint for the second checkpoint. And don't forget, for this sprite only, and make a last variable for this next for the last checkpoint. So for the sprite only, okay. And here it's car checkpoint 1, car checkpoint 2, and car checkpoint 3. They're all 0. So at the beginning, we do have to set them all to 0. So set checkpoint to 0. And we also have to change to set checkpoint 2 to 0 and set checkpoint 3 to 0. Okay? And now we need to make some ifs, because if we touch this color, then we have to set this checkpoint 1 to 1, right? And then if touching this color, then set checkpoint 2 to 1. So we need to go and so on for the third one. And we need to get an if, and if touching color, and then click the color, and click this button down here to get the right color. So we'll go ahead and get this color because we'll deal with checkpoint 1 first. So touching color this, then we need to, like I said, we need to set checkpoint 1 to 1. And now duplicate that because we only need to change like one thing or two. So put it under if touching color, click this button, if touching color this color right here, then change checkpoint 2 by 1 and duplicate that again. And if touching this color right here, then set checkpoint 3 to 1. Okay, now that we got these ifs, we need to make sure they get through all of them. So how we do that is we need to make a one last if, and it'll be if touching this blue right here, which is the last finish point, and if checkpoint 1 equals 1, and if checkpoint 2 equals 1, and if checkpoint 3 equals 1, then we need to say hooray, the red car won. So I got that if, and now if, a lot of things will have to happen. So we get this new block, and this and that, and we need 4 different things to be true. So we have to get 3 different ands and put them together like this, and there we have all 4. And if this, the first this is touching color, this color over here, this blue one, if touching this color and checkpoint 1 equals 1, right? And copy that because we will need to do checkpoint 2 equals 1 and checkpoint 3. So take checkpoint 2, copy that, we'll duplicate it, and then what happened? Alright, and then we need to do checkpoint 3 equals 1, and we have to put those in there. Okay? So they don't have to be in order because all 3 will happen. So we need to put in the last one too. And now we need to write if all that happens, what happens. So we need looks over at the looks and say I won. Well, don't say I won because there's 2 cars and you might not know which car won if they both go at the same time. So say the red car won for 2 seconds, and then you need to stop all so that no one else can win too. And now don't forget to delete this if up here because it's the exact same as down here. If touching color blue right here, say the red car won and stop all right here too. So take this and delete it, put this back on, and now let's try to run it and see how it goes. So I touch the green, and when I touch that checkpoint, the checkpoint 1 variable changed by 1, just like we wanted it to. Oh, whoops. Alright. And then this one changed to 1 too. So that one works. test the last one. It changed to 1, 2. So now let's test if it says the red car 1 if I touch that. And when I touch it, it says the red car 1 and everything stops. I can't control it anymore. Now for the very last step, we need to duplicate this car, and don't forget, change the color of this car that you just duplicated because we need it to be a different color. Make sure it's not the same color as any of the checkpoints, because then it'll think that it's touching a checkpoint when it's actually touching the car. So just go to convert to bitmap, make sure you're on fill, pick out a color you want in the fill, and click on the car. Once you got the color you wanted, go back to coding, and we have to change up some things here. So first of all, we want this green car, this new car, to start like right there, right? Kind of. We need to change its direction though. So we need to make it go to X. That will stay actually, and then the point in direction, we will need it to do something like that, so that this red car, the red car starts right there, which is perfect. This green car needs to start over here, so the direction should be something like this, but that's right on the other car, so we need to change we need to put it right there and change its X and Y coordinates. Okay, once you've done that, run it, and they're just right there, right next to each other, and you're ready to modify all the other things for this car. So we need to change the keys. Instead of S, we need to put up arrow, because to go forward. And then to turn to the left, we need the left arrow, and to turn to the right, we will do the right arrow. And then if touching color, that stays too. These all stay, and make sure it's the green car 1 instead of the red. And you're basically done. Don't forget to erase these checkpoints because they're in the way and you can't see the car when it's in this corner. So do that by going over to this other car and make sure you click on those checks and they'll just slowly disappear. And run it, they start where you wanted, and you can go ahead and play with your friend. Also, let's check if it can shortcut and make it without touching all the checkpoints. So let's say it'll just shortcut right there. Let's say it only touches this one, for example. Okay, it touched it, and now it needs to go. So let's say I wanted to cheat. And you touch the blue, but nothing happens because you didn't touch the other 2 checkpoints. So, and also if you went with this other car, even if you went with this other car onto the other 2 checkpoints, it still wouldn't work because the same car didn't touch all 3. So, yeah, it wouldn't work. See, I touched both of them, and it's still touching the blue, but it didn't say the red car 1. Don't forget to save it, name your project. I already named it. It's called Racing. You can name it whatever you'd like. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time for another fun game you can make on Scratch.